the magic.
So I'm here with Becky Cline from the Walt Disney Archives?
Yes.
Okay. And we are at the New Treasures of the Walt Disney Archives exhibit at the Reagan Museum.
Right.
This is amazing.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Tell me about this. Just tell me about everything at this point.
Wow. Well, right about Christmas last year, we got a phone call from the Reagan Library, and the registrar called me and wanted to know if they could borrow a couple objects for, they were thinking about doing a Disney exhibit because they knew that Walt Disney and President Reagan were friends, and were interested in doing a little exhibit showing some of the artifacts that they have in their collection, and wanted to know if they could borrow a few things. And so we had lunch with them and had a meeting, and it turned into, let's do a big exhibit together. And so we were able to take some of the things that we did at the Treasures of the Archives exhibit in our recent expos, but we tried to really think about it and bring things that people hadn't seen before. So I would say approximately 70% of the items that are in here we haven't exhibited before. Yeah. And so it's really fun. It turned into such a huge exhibit. We were able to do a kind of a traditional academic museum type exhibit upstairs, and then down here in this what used to be just a tented outdoor space, they turned it into an exhibit space for us. It's about 6,000 square feet, I think, down here. And
yeah, it's huge.
What we call the tent. Put real hard walls in and security and all the things we needed, and we were able to bring some of our bigger objects like the Pirates of the Caribbean assets and ride vehicles and the Maleficent head dragon and motorcycles and Captain America's, Iron Man's race car, things like that.
It just goes on and on.
It just goes on and on, but if we hadn't had this downstairs space, we never would have been able to do that because the gallery spaces upstairs just wouldn't be big enough. So it's really fun because the exhibit is kind of, I would describe it as being in three parts. There's the kind of traditional legacy of Walt Disney section, including his office, which was really exciting to get to put up again.
That was beautiful. And
it's so great. And then a lot of the early silent films, some of Walt's personal history, his office, an animator's office of the 50s, some great objects in the collection from that whole period during his lifetime. But then we were able to do the more recent films down here, and then when you go back upstairs, we did what we call the National Treasures Gallery, which is items from National Treasure, but also Disney's Hall of Presidents, which we brought together for the very first time all the busts that WDI used for the Hall of Presidents attraction of Magic Kingdom.
Wow. And
all 43 busts for, there's 44, no, I take it 43 busts for the 44 presidencies.
Right.
Because there were only 43 presidents, but 44 presidencies. So all of the busts are there together for the very first time. They've never displayed them that way before. And including President Obama, so it's George Washington to President Obama. And then the items that the Reagan Foundation and Museum have in their collections that they wanted to share that were the president's items. And then we did kind of a tribute to President Reagan, but also a presidency tribute, showing letters and photos of all the connections between the presidents of Disney from FDR to the present day.
Wow. So
that's all up there in that room, and it's pretty special. So we kind of end with that, and it's a three-part thing. It's Walt's legacy, today's exciting big pieces, and then the presidential connections.
This is more than a couple of pieces. I think the next time Reagan Museum calls you and says, "Can we do a couple of pieces?" they're gonna think about what they're saying.
Exactly. Well, they're excited. It's the biggest exhibit they've ever had, and it's certainly the biggest one that the Archives has ever done. And we're just really excited because it gets to show the breadth of what the Archives has and what we're capable of doing. So it's really fun for us too. And there's over 500 objects, not including Walt's office. So that doesn't include everything in Walt's office, which is another probably 200-300 items.
Wow.
And that office is as accurate as we could get it from, the books are all on the shelf in the right order, and everything, every picture is hung exactly right. So
wow. Okay. And
pretty fun.
This is here for how long?
Till next April. So probably the end of April 2013.
Okay. Wonderful. Well, thank you.
Thank you. So please, everybody come and enjoy what we'd like to share.
Oh yes, the Reagan Museum in Simi Valley, California, just a nice drive north from LA.
It's not far at all. It only takes about 45 minutes to get up here.
Cool. Well, thank you again.
You bet.